This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's joint meeting of the Planning and Development Subcommittee and Town Council, Thursday, January 14, 2021, 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong. So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30 Alpha, subsection 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Planning and Development Subcommittee is being conducted as remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings provided for in this order, A reminder that persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by watching by remote information noted below. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website at www.ci.southbridge.ma.us as soon as we are able. Roll call vote is required for all votes taken under this order. See if Catherine is not here. So before we begin, I got a roll call. Mrs. LaRochelle?
Here.
All right, thank you. Councilor Adams is here. Catherine? Not present, absent. Councilor Lazo? Absent. Oh, it looks like Catherine, are you here?
Looks like she's here.
She's here, yeah. Let's see. Hey, Catherine, you're on mute. And you're frozen. You're on mute right now.
Sorry, here I am.
That's all right, Catherine. Thank you, Councilor Marquetti. I have the quorum now. Thank you. So Catherine is present, so we do have a quorum. Agenda item number 2, consider and accept the planning development meeting minutes of December 8th, 2020. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you, Catherine. Okay, any amendments to the minutes that were sent off?
I'm all set.
All right, Dee Dee.
All set.
Okay, Catherine.
I'm okay.
Okay. All those in favor? Dee Dee.
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
And Councilor Adams, yes. 3-0. All right, discuss pursuing the Mass EVIP grant for another public charging station and at what location. Entertain a motion to vote to recommend that council pursue applying for this grant. I need a first and a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I need a second.
And I'll second.
All right. I see Councilor Dow is here as well, so now we have 4. Write that down.
Hi.
All right. Hey, Councilor Dow. We're on agenda item number 3. We just approved the minutes, so we're on the agenda item number 3. Eric, or actually Mr. Town Manager, if you want to go, or Eric, or Ms. Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll defer to Ms. Dean and Mr. Rumsey for input on the following 2 items.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So there's 2 of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we have, Nick and I we had this grant opportunity come across our desk, and We started to brainstorm some locations, or potential locations rather, for electric vehicle charging stations. We sent you an initial list that showed potential locations at the Edwards Block parking lot, Central Street parking lot, and 2 locations on Main Street. In meeting with Heather Blakely, DPW director, we sort of narrowed that list and also modified it a good bit. The Edwards Block, for example, we were originally showing that kind of tucked into the corner over by Chapin Street. And we were questioned, well, where are we going to run power from at that spot? So the most logical thing to do is to move it closer to the fire station so we don't have to run trenching throughout the entirety of the parking lot. Still would sort of be in a great location, but also not in an area that is difficult for us to trench or to supply power to. We looked at a location outside the library on Main Street. We had talked with Margaret about putting one in her parking lot, and she said, I have 38 spaces, and if I have to dedicate a space or two strictly for electric vehicles, that won't work for us. We need all the spaces we have, and quite frankly, they need more spaces, is her thought on that. So we were looking for another location because the Main Street and Central Street parking lot locations, we had issues with where are we going to get power from. The utility poles on site and on Main Street are not, there's not enough power there for the high speed, the fast charging stations like we have at the town hall. So we do believe we have come up with a solution, which is the location on Crystal Street, sort of in that parking area by the gazebo. Alternate location, I suppose, still on Crystal would be closer to the police station, where we could pull power from the police station versus from the common. So that's kind of our, where we're at with this. So we're kind of looking for your approval to, go to council with this to have them approve us to sign up for this grant.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions or add, Ms. Dean?
Yeah, I might be helpful to also note that if you're on public land and you are offering it for at least 12 hours and it's a designated parking spot, it's 100% funded up to $50,000. Just doing a quick search of prices, we saw that these fast chargers run between $20,000 and $50,000. Most of the costs are included, except for there will be a few things like signage or just small costs that we'll have to price out that might be outside of the grant that we'd potentially have to ask for additional funds, maybe asking to use CDBG miscellaneous funds to be able to cover it. But I wonder if as a next step, rather than going straight to town council, if you find this worthy of pursuing, do you want Eric and I to go back and do more homework about, let's get some quotes to see where they come in and figure out exactly how much the prices would be within the grant and then outside of the grant?
Well, what I would say is if, depending on the time, because we do have a PPP meeting at 6 p.m., you never know if you guys have some more information as questions arise. I guess we can just play it by there and see what the discussion leads us to. So, but thank you, Ms. Dean. Councilor Dow?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So you just a few small questions. I know I jump in the middle just to understand it. In the future, after you get the grant and all that, it's gonna be that free for the public, or it's gonna be a meter to charge?
We're looking into it. So one of the options with the grant is to have them fund a payment service. So it'll either be With the electric cars, there's either an app that you can use and you can sign up through that, or a lot of the machines have like a credit card swiper that you would, put in for, and then probably swipe in, swipe out kind of a thing, and it'll charge you accordingly.
So the grant is to put those stations in the place, but the future, wherever is gonna use that station, have to put a credit to be able, or app to be able to charge the cars. The money, the electric go through the town, go through that company, go through the electric company. Who's in charge? Who's maintaining? Who's responsible for the electric bills? All these questions. I don't know if you have all these.
Yeah, we so as far as that goes, it potentially we could be looking at a free situation for the public. We researched some cost, and what we found was typically they run between about $640 to maybe $1,700 for the year, depending on the number of vehicles and the length of the charge. So, we could potentially, I guess, be looking at an electric increase per unit of around there. Now, if we go with the pay-as-you-go or pay-as-you-charge model, there's essentially no cost to the town because the electricity comes through. We may have to pay the electric bill, but we'll get paid from the company that from the people who are paying, I guess, to charge their car.
I just question. So would these be for? Are they placed in and around Central Street and Main Street and stuff? Is this for the people working in the area, or are these for the people living in the area?
Potentially both. Also, people who are visiting.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back to the council down. Go ahead. I think you had a question. I know.
I don't know if you mind. I don't think it's clear enough to move it forward to the town councils. I think we need more details. Those questions I ask, some of you, I'd like to get more clear answer on these questions. Where we're going in the future, the town responsibility, the money, the charge, the people. I don't think I have a clear answer on these, questions. If you don't mind, get me those, and then we can, move forward, look at them, and then we can transfer to the town council after. But right now, I will hold on it, if you don't mind, Chair. Thank you.
No, I don't mind. We can make a motion to that. I'd like to hear what everybody else kind of has to say. But Mr. Town Manager?
I was responsible for setting the policies and dealing with the management of our stations at one of the communities that I worked with previously. And pretty much everything Mr. Rumby said was the case. In the grants that we received the first couple of years, it was free to the town. And that what we were responsible for after the grant period expired was paying for what are called software tokens or licenses for the management software for the billing end of it. Now, I haven't looked into the energy costs here, but the amounts were not that significant, along the lines of maybe $1,000 or $2,000 a year, as Mr. Rumsey said, for the individual stations. And we looked at it as a benefit to the citizens and also a way to attract business. We located our charging stations in our downtown areas, our walkable areas. Specifically, our library was our most popular spot because a large segment of their clientele happened to be very conscious about the environment. A lot of the people that read seem to drive electric vehicles, so it was a worthwhile endeavor to put one there. What we did find out is in some of the places that were not connected, or at least I observed running reports for our elected officials, if we put them further away from the downtown areas, they tended to be used primarily by people who wanted to charge them and leave them overnight. So we moved away from the free model after a while to have a basic formula to recover our costs, but also put a parking fee. You can detect how long a vehicle is connected to the charging station. So if somebody was staying more than the industry standard time for charging, we then started charging them a parking fee because we were having out-of-towners come in for the weekend to visit somebody and occupy a space. We also had people that would come to town hall and park and stay there for 10, 12, even 24 hours. So while you want to extend a benefit, you may have to customize your policies to promote certain behaviors, that you have that turnover for your people that want to come in and have dinner and walk around and enjoy our shops and our amenities. But you want to deter those people that are going to just plant themselves there, occupy a space, and get the free overnight charge. So there is more to it. And I think those are things that we will only know once we initiate it, how we'll have to fine tune those policies, but we could certainly give you a rough idea of what the cost could be. I could get some information from my prior community, but a lot of it will be fine tuning once we have it in place. But I think the key is really honing in on an area that's going to be accessible to our downtown amenities, walkable, and one that people would be it would be in an inviting space so that, it's in a well-lit area, a public parking area, and you could walk to the library, the town hall, and enjoy everything from there.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Councilor Dow, did you have anything else?
Yeah.
I know, Councilor Steves, I got you. Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the place we put in next to the police station, next to the common, I feel one of the reason we gotta put it there because we're gonna have the park in the future at the AO. So people will park there and they can go walk and exercise and come back, or for the downtown, but
So I guess my question is, when you're talking about that, Councilor Dow, would be in here, can you do more than one? Can you apply for more than one in here? I guess that would be to Eric or Ms. Dean.
As far as I know, we can. I think Peg is checking the contract language or the grant language right now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, to answer Mr. Dow's question, if you don't mind,
Sure.
yes, the thought for putting one on Crystal Street is exactly that. For someone who might be going to dinner at Shades or uses the gym over there or wants to use the proposed bike trails and recreation facilities that they're proposing, in addition to someone who would be utilizing the town common. We have the concerts on the green, the Southbridge Fall Fest, and some of the parades go right by there and are very popular in that area. So there's a lot of activity there, and it is still completely walkable to downtown from that location as well.
Thank you, Mr. Rumsey.
thank you.
Okay, Councilor Steves?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess my question actually is to whoever can answer this one. We obviously, as you guys know, we have the one that's currently attached to Town Hall, and it's primarily used, I know, by the town's own vehicle. But how much use does it get from other people for the other half of the charger? And do we have records of how much cost we've seen for that? How many different vehicles actually use it? That kind of stuff.
So we tried to find out if there was a breakdown on the two chargers that the town has, but it just comes through as our general electric bill, so there is no breakout of that. We'd have to go back however many years before that was installed and compare electric rates back then to today, for example, to get an accurate cost. As far as use, yes, primarily it is used with the town vehicle. However, there are several, there's a few Teslas that have been in there several times a week. There's been several Chevy Volts and Bolts and Leafs, and it's used quite often. People know where these chargers are, and they look for them. So we've had somebody with a Tesla park there several days a week, charging their car throughout the day.
So the one at the town hall, is that a level 1 or a 2?
That's a level.
What was it?
It's a level 2, but it's a high capacity charger, so it charges very quickly.
I guess we'd have to figure out what kind of, would we want a 120 volt or a 240
Yeah,
volt too? So
We would want the 240 or the 480 volt. Essentially, it's almost the same as the Tesla supercharger is kind of what we'd be looking for.
there's not the 480 in here, so that's why.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's a 240 volt, but it is higher kilowatts, I believe.
Okay.
Um,
So that would be a recommendation as well. Which one would we want? Okay. Did anybody else have any questions? Councilor Dow?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My concern is it's good idea. It's very good. I support it only if I will see more study on it, because you put on a station with no limit on it, the time it's gonna be parked there. If it's more than one person leaving his car and go walking, what it's gonna control. Somebody else wanna come charge his cars to move it. Because if it's for free sitting there, I leave it. I go for 2-3 hours. I don't have to worry. I think I need more study. It's good. Again, it's a good idea, but I don't think it's the way we're just gonna install them, not control them on a time base or some. It's kind of gonna create a problem, I think.
Utilizing some type of contractor.
Yeah. So if we I know they have ways of detecting. Well, they detect when the car is plugged in, and a lot of them, I believe, have a timer, so they'll allow you to charge for, let's say, 2 hours, and after that time, it shuts off. And there's a meter that'll tell you how much time is left on the charger for that vehicle. So let's say, Mr. Dow, that you are charging your car, it's plugged in, your 2 hours is up, you're still at dinner, and I pull up in my car and I'm gonna charge, I see the meter's empty. If I unplug from yours and plug in, even if we're doing the pay structure, there is no, you're not paying to charge my car. If that helps. I know we've had several occasions where we've had the town car parked and plugged in, and we've had the second charger in use, and we've had a third electric vehicle, and they've unplugged the town car because it's fully charged and it's sitting in that space.
I will say to Mr. Rumsey that I think that was brought up by the town council before about that car just sitting there in front of the town hall through the whole entire weekend charging. But that's something I guess we can talk about offline.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's actually not charging when it's sitting there if it's full.
Got it. Tell you how I have no electric car, so I have no clue on that one. All right. Anybody else have any questions, Ms. Dean, or comments?
Yeah, just a comment, just looking through the guidance, I don't see any restriction on the number that can be requested. There's a 1.5 million being allocated, and they're looking to spend at least 200,000 in each DEP region, but otherwise they state no restrictions except for no more than 50,000 per station.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. I would say that if we go back here and obviously what Councilor Dow is talking about, postponing this to the next meeting to get a little bit more information, I would ask that to follow up on the payment services. Obviously, we know we can apply for more than one. I know there are department heads that may not want those in their area, but the fact is there are more electric cars going on the road today, and I completely respect why they wouldn't want to have it, but we also got to look for the future of the town and not the town paying the electric bill on the whole thing. So I would ask that maybe the town manager, that we look at a little bit more locations, from the Central Street parking lot to, I mean, it's got, obviously, we don't want to tear up brand new sidewalks or anything like that, but near a power station to be able to put more in. And I think there's quite a few questions on it, but does anybody else have anything that you would like to see in the future? Yes, Ms. Dean.
Unfortunately, it sounded like from the DPW, they highly recommended that we not rip up the pavement in Central Street parking lot. 5-year moratorium on brand new pavement, so it was off the table.
Yeah, well, in the other municipality parking lot as well. That's across the way that you guys have already.
DM or Edwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even at the library in the back area, I think Council Marquetti had brought something up. We had a discussion on it. Yeah, Council Marquetti.
I know that you want to get to this other meeting, but all I want to say is I have to agree with Councilor Dow. There's just too many unknowns here. But I would also say that I would rather see, rather than lose parking places for this, that we add parking places for something like this, because I don't know, I'd hate to see areas tied up that other people that don't have electric cars now don't have a parking place. But that's all. Other than that, it's,
Okay.
I mean, that's a pretty good idea. That's all.
I think
Thank you.
I think so too. So obviously, we're not going to get anywhere tonight, make any type of motion. We've already made the motion on the table, but I think Councilor Dow.
Motion moved.
I think Councilor Dow made a motion to. Councilor Dow, I got it. I think Councilor Dow made a motion earlier to postpone this. When would you like this? Probably the next meeting, next P&D meeting? Is that what you're looking at, Councilor Dow?
Yeah, if they can get that information, just because it's better to prepare for everything's coming in the future, like controlling the town, what it's gonna pay, because now is a lot of station. I like to see more in one parking, I don't, it's good idea, it's awesome, but it should be more everywhere. I understand, but it should be more control for the town. Who's gonna pay the bill? Who's gonna maintain him? What's the town responsibility in the future? That's the whole thing. I'd like to know about it.
So Councilor Dow has a motion on the table to postpone it. I need a second if anybody's going to second that,
I'll second it.
right? Any discussion on postponing it? All those in favor, be Dee Dee?
No, I'm all set.
Nope, yes or no?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Councilor Dow?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
Thank
Very
you.
well. And we'll talk offline, I think, with Eric and Peg and the town manager, sorry. Agenda item number 4, new business. Any questions? Anything new? Very well. Motion to adjourn.
Motion moved.
Second.
I need a second. All right. Dee Dee, yes or no?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Councilor Adams, yes, 4-0. All right, I'll set one up probably for the first week of February to discuss this. I think there's a couple other agendas we need to talk about too.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Thanks, Peg. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Good luck to people.
Thank you.